Hi. The night wouldn't be complete without thanking the amazing Irish fairy there at the piano. Sarah Dining. Great new hair color, by the way. Especially for red light lit. Alright, we have two writers left tonight. Here is the next one. LD Blue is a retired slam poet whose fiction, poetry, and essays have appeared in various blogs and zines. Currently pursuing an MFA at SFSU, it's a lot of initials. She has the great and surprising pleasure of teaching undergraduate creative writing, aka getting paid to talk in excess. Other things she does are astrology readings for money, and writing a novel for wealth, popularity, and parental approval. While she eschews, it's a new word from me, sorry if I butcher it, eschews questions about the origins of either her first or last name, she's always happy to address inquiries about hair and personal fashion, such as, what cream rinse do you use? And why does your faux fur vest look so much like roadkill? If you found this bio either entertaining, intriguing, or stupid, you should listen right now to LD Blue.
So I feel like that was like the longest bio that I've ever written. I was sick when I wrote it, and I was really cracking myself up. But I feel like I should show this to you. I'm from Michigan, and there, when you go to the thrift stores, things are cheap and really ugly. This has like a tire mark pre-printed on it. Anyway. I thought of all kinds of clever things I was going to tell you guys when I came up here, but I've forgotten all of them. So that story was really funny. I don't know what she was talking about. The person who read just a second ago. Thank you so much, Jennifer and Veronica. Veronica, you've never met. Hi. A lot of times readings really suck, guys. But this has been really awesome, so thank you to everyone who's read. Because you worry when you're the second to last. You're like, is anyone gonna still be there? Okay. So three things. This is short, so I can talk for a long time. Thing one. I wrote this 11 years ago, guys. That's crazy. I could barely feed myself 11 years ago. Okay, so that's thing one. Thing two is, I forgot thing two. Thing three is, has anyone ever heard of David WOJNAROWICZ? Has anyone read his writing? No, God.
One.
Okay, awesome. My 19-year-old self is so mad at you guys. Anyway, this poem is, it's called ELEGY for David WOJNAROWICZ. And all you really need to know about him is that he was a writer, performer, and filmmaker who died in 1993 at like age 34 or something like that. And was killed by a combination of AIDS and homophobic indifference. Which if you read his writing, you can find out a lot about both of those things. Thing two, I remember. Thing two is that, so I used to be a slam poet when I was teeny tiny, and I would memorize things and perform them, and I thought, this is a performance poem, I should memorize it. So I memorized it, and if I forget in the middle, I'm going to pick it up and read it, but we're going to assume that I'm not going to. Okay, so this is called ELEGY for David WOJNAROWICZ, and yell at me if I'm too quiet. Dear David, I dreamt you cruising through the desert, your hands around the wheel tensed a bit. The skin of them so awfully soft, I thought, considering the things they must have held along the way. Dear David, I was with you. We were driving through the most uninhabited parts of the country. Yellow and orange glory rising above the gray highway. Air dry as hell. We were gasping with the windows down, the sun making to crawl down my throat, my face and the car seat cracking in the heat like mirrors of the great caverns that we dove through. You didn't say much, but I watched you anyhow, waiting. You asked every now and then for directions, and I gave them, contradicting myself often, making them up each time. Because I suspected you didn't really want to get there, and anyway, you wouldn't tell me where we were going. Mostly, it was silent between us. Just the noise of the road, hiss of the heater running. I would have thought you might crack jokes or swear or yell or tell stories, but I guess you preferred the music of the pavement and wind and the fender cutting them cleanly apart. David, I thought of you raging, at least in ink, at the disappearing light, asking only for some kind of grace. And I wondered if you ever got it, 'cause last week New York was coughing up blood every few minutes still, stinking like torn up cats, and I had to fight to meet its eye, hating myself and hurting David, 'cause New York never got a minute of grace, not a breath of it, nor America. David, we were in the desert, and I knew you were dead, I think. Knew I wasn't. But the road and the speed, endless motion kept me quiet, not pestering you a bit. A couple of hours in, I said, David, I began getting hungry, said, David, we gotta pull over. Just a little longer, you said in a voice like overripe fruit, low. Your mouth was red and I wanted to kiss you more than I wanted to eat. I held your heart when you passed it to me. It was brown, red, a desert color, bruised too. My hands around it were the same color as the pale yellow sand, and I felt it broken somewhere deep within. You crying silent all the while. Me sensing your anger at the emptiness, at death. Ahead was a checkpoint, a cop, finger bone stiff and accusatory, a legal pad and some kind of metal detector buzzing like we'd done it, though we were still 100 yards away. The cop raised his decaying face to us, waved you in, but you sped up instead of stopping like the only way you could with that much rage in you and still not willing to murder anyone. And when we got to the metal detector, the speedometer said 25, but we were going so much faster. We were going so fast I kept expecting the whole scene to reel up into the sky, and maybe we'd burn up fiery in the horizon. But no. The car was grounded, and you were no angel, just a dead man anchored to all this shit by the weight of your heart. And I knew then that even 1,000,000 horsepower engines couldn't save you, not even at 180 miles per hour, not even speed could save either of us from the ever-expanding desert where the exits twisted into one another, tangling the landscape like some ghastly miracle. I said, David, how long are you going to keep this up for? Aren't we just running away? You only looked at me, said, keep an eye on the map, our exit's coming up. Smiled a little sad smile, like you knew something you wouldn't say, as deafeningly the night sky came down cold around us, filling the car with the safety of a long trip and motion, darkness and stars. I never expected stars, I tell you. Your silhouette, a thing finely tuned. I wanted to touch you bad. The white face, salt-lined, angular, dark hair falling over it, distant eyes. Wanted to touch you, but I just sat there watching the shadows play with your face, cupping your raided heart in small hands. In the dark, you seemed more confident. I was tired, and I trusted you. I think I dreamed I fell asleep while you gently guided us down the road. Infinite points of light streaming behind us, like echoes of our freedom. Thank you.